Up, guys? Today we are going to be reviewing something I never heard of. An amazing friend, look, one of you have one, or Eric, sent me a cigar. S's, about 30 S's after that S. He sent me cigars. This was one of them. This one intrigued me the most. Well, there was a lot of them that intrigued me the most. This was one that intrigued me the most. All the stuff intrigued me. Yeah, I got the point. I put this in a dry box for the longest because Mr. Eric aged this so well that it was like very spongy, like to the point where you knew that it was a little bit too hydrated. It went for a swim, essentially. So it has it in a dry box for a little while, which is why you can kind of see a lot of the veins, and you know, the foot looks a little bit how it is. And like chocolate. I don't know anything about La Galera at all, and I looked it up. I did my little research before coming onto this platform and telling you guys what's this all about. And apparently the factory that a lot of companies uses, the Tabacalera, Palma, a lot of them use it. And apparently the owner of the factory is José or Hochi Blanco. And for their anniversary of having the factory being open for 85 years, apparently this cigar was created. So to commemorate the 85th anniversary of the factory being opened, the son and the father got together and made two different blends of the one I'm smoking right now. I'm smoking the son's variation of the 85th anniversary, which is Jose Manuel Blanco. Other one's a lighter wrapper made by the father or the owner, which is Hochi Blanco. I think it's kind of a good thing that I got the sons, and then maybe down the line I could probably find the father. The reason why I say that, I'm the youngest member of the group I'm a part of. Anywhere I go, I'm always the youngest cigar smoker. So it's kind of convenient that I get the son's blend, not the father's blend. Let's go see how the son's blend is. Everybody. I'm getting a lot of chocolate just from the wrapper. And I love chocolate. You can see my triple D's kind of protruding from my shirt. Yeah, the wrapper has a little like a... The wrapper definitely has an aroma of pepper, cedar, and chocolate. Damn. Woo. Even though it's not real pepper, my brain thought it's real pepper, made me sneeze. Yeah. Ooh. That cold draw. Bready. Peppery. Chocolatey. Cedar. There's other stuff in there too. I get chocolate, cedar, spice. And bread. Like something grainy. or like wheat. Even my lips are getting a little bit tingly because I feel like this might be a slight spice bomb, maybe not a lot. I mean, towards the end, because if I'm getting tingly from just the cold draw and from just the wrapper, I feel like that last third is gonna be like a little spice bomb. Let's just get into it, and I'll give you guys more information about the cigar. So yeah, this cigar was given to me by the very infamous Smoke One if you have one. I know him as Eric, greatest friend of the cigar community, because he tends to be the Oprah of the cigar community, which I appreciate. Gives me more content, which gives you guys more videos to watch. So I will like for him to continue being Oprah, because the more he's Oprah, the more content you guys get, and the more fun I have. Ooh, the more fun I have. Is it normal to get like popcorn? I know I had popcorn on the live the other day on Soy Sauce Assassin's channel, but I get like this buttery, I'm not sure, because the butter and bread combined makes like a popcorn flavor note. That's what I'm getting. I don't think I've ever had a cigar and they gave me popcorn yet. Okay, the retro is actually smooth for the initial draws. Oh, that's like chocolate, dark chocolate. It's like, no, I won't say dark. I would say cocoa, like in its purest form. I wouldn't say chocolate. I'm gonna say more cocoa. And that pepper sneaks up on you like after. It's an after effect, because right now I really feel a slight burn. That's not intolerable or annoying or like a bad thing. It's like people who enjoy spicy foods. Spicy foods is amazing, and it gives you that little burning sensation. Some people hate it. People can deal with spice either in foods or cigars or anything in general. Some people tolerate it. That's what I'm getting from this. I'm getting a very tolerable spice feeling in the back of my throat, because when you retro, obviously it's going from mouth, back of the throat, up into your nostrils, out through your nose. Yeah, that's the science. Yeah, that's a very sweet cigar. The popcorn is gone now. For some reason, in that very first few draws, I had like a buttery, very buttery corn. Yeah. Very buttery corn style. Switch one of those letters into other one and I get in trouble on YouTube. Grainy, bready. That's what I got in that very initial pull. That was nice though. Ooh. I did a very slow retro, so I could try to take a breakdown. This is a dessert. This is something after you have like steak or seafood. I'm not a big seafood person myself. And a lot of people might look at me like, How dare you? You don't eat lobsters and shrimps and all that? Nope. I grew up with the movie Finding Nemo. Fish are friends, not food. But if you just finish a very hearty meal, it'll be with steak, seafoods, lobsters, salmons, all the kind of sorts. Maybe a big burger, or maybe if you're in the Latin side, churrascos or arroz y gandules with chuletas on the side, or pollo, although like anything that can really fill you up. This is great to have by your side with the oakiness, chocolateness. I'm not sure if that's even a word, but with the whole aspect of chocolate, the whole aspect of spice, the whole aspect of leather, slight hints of it, and earth with that breadiness on top of it too. This would go well with either a coffee, dark, or maybe a coffee with a splash of cream. Not a lot, but either a dark coffee like an espresso, or maybe just a coffee with a splash of milk or some type of creamer, like half and half, or maybe half and half. I think that'll go well with this. Rick, you're close to a third into the cigar. You didn't give us no information yet. Calm down. I've been getting yelled at for the past 2 months that I talk too much and not light up. So now I'm doing the opposite. I'm lighting up. So I better not get yelled at for, I don't know anything about the cigar. You're just smoking it and just telling me the notes and not telling me what's the wrapper, what's the binder, what's the origin. Tranquilo. Cálmate. I got you. Oíste. Escúchame. Listen to me. So I already told you the origins. Basically by the pre-story, the background story, the whole synopsis of how this cigar was created was, this is the 85th anniversary of the Tabacalera Palma factory in Dominican Republic. This is the 85th anniversary. This one I'm smoking specifically was made by the son. So origins, Dominican Republic. So first you have the wrapper. The wrapper is a Connecticut broadleaf. So you have that Maduro aspect to the leaf itself, but this is a Connecticut. Then you have the binder and filler, both coming from Dominican Republic, but they're different Dominican tobacco that's in the binder and the filler. The binder is a Corojo binder, and the filler is a Criollo 98 or Criollo 98 and a Piloto Cubano. The combination of Criollo, it's kind of hard to pronounce that because 2 L's makes a Y. So you have all and then lo. So putting that together, Criollo, or how you want to pronounce it. Puerto Ricans, you typically say 2 Y's as Y, which is why I'm actually wearing this shirt, because Y, for the person who is a part of this group, this is kind of part of the topic, kind of whatever, how you pronounce this word. You might see Criollo and think of Criollo. It's not Criollo, it's Criollo. Criollo. That's how you pronounce it. I'm your guest host for today's episode, Dora. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because the person who's a part of this group that I'm wearing, his name is Yandel, Yandel, but his real name is Landel, but he just put a Y because if he goes by his real name on stage, people are gonna call him, Landel. So to not having confusion, he just put a Y for his stage name, which is technically his real name because his real name is Landel. He just put it as how you pronounce it. The more you know. That actually makes the cigar kind of interesting. The fact that it's 2 different countries of origins, U.S.A., Connecticut, and Dominican, but it's basically 4 different tobaccos in one cigar. So I like that. I think that's interesting. Okay, now I know the background. Rick, how much does it cost? What's the MSRP? What's the market value of the cigar? Is it limited? Is this something that's on production? Usually anniversaries are limited. Yeah, it is limited. they only made 2,021 boxes because this review was for the PCA convention in 2021. So they made 2,021 boxes with 10 being in each box, meaning there's 20,000 of these cigars out there. But they did actually an interesting twist to the boxes. Yes, each box carries 10 cigars, but 5 of them are the one made by the son, which is the one I'm smoking right now, and the other 5 is made by the father. So in one box, the 2021 that's out there, there's basically 2,120 cigars. Half of that will be 10,105 of the Jose Manuel version of this 85th anniversary, and 10,105 of the Hochi Blanco version. But the MSRP of those cigars are $14.50. So either of the two blends, one by the son or by the father, will be $14.50, which that is not a budget breaker. For the fact that this cigar marks a great deal in history with cigars, because Tabacalera, that factory produces a lot of cigars that we love today. So for 85 years of that company being a thing and the owners coming together and creating this dual project with each other, and especially being father and son, that's awesome. That's really amazing. And the flavor is slowly transitioning. Now it's like deep chocolate, and that butteriness gone. Or is it? No, wow, the butter came in stronger. Oh my god. There's way more pepper now. That popcorn breadiness intensified slightly. The chocolate note is so subtle, but I feel like there might be like an espresso popping in as well. Holy crap. So yes, I'm about a third into the cigar. One thing I forgot to tell you guys, that this is a 6x52 Toro. So I used to be a big fan of Robustos and Coronas. I don't know, as of recently, I'm starting to fall for Toros. I'm tasting espresso. Yeah, I'm getting espresso. It's transitioning right now. Yeah, my cigar just transitioned. It's identifying as an espresso now. Ooh. Yo, Eric, other than that fucking CEO you gave me, yeah, you've been giving me hits after hits after hits. I just hope to God there's no other CEOs in there. I'm looking at you. You've been giving me hits and one flop. Because technically speaking, even though yes, I'm smoking this on the 31st of December, starting today, I didn't do a top 10 cigars. I came in very late into the game. My top 10 journey for this year starts with this cigar, technically speaking. Not gonna put it in my top 10, obviously. What 10 other cigars? This is nice. This is a very nice cigar. I'm trying to find any flaws. The flavor profile is something I'm quite enjoying because this is the first time you click it onto my video. I'm the type of person that loves the chocolate and espresso notes into cigars. Those are typically cigars that I lean towards, like my go-tos or my favorites of all time. My background is Cuban. I know you see me have Puerto Rican flags right here, right here, right 30 right here, and then there's a Puerto Rican flag right here. It's kind of hard for me to point because my camera's reversed, and it's double reversed because OBS, and y'all don't care about that information. I'm Cuban. I'm Puerto Rican and Cuban. So I have a lot of cacao into this. I have a lot of espresso or coffee bean graininess, like wheats, bready. So there's like a oil to it, like a butter oil. It's good. For $14.50, you can't, what can you really complain about? But I'm not gonna make the whole cigar personality off of $14.50 like other people. I don't grade my cigars based off price. I get it, you want to make a top 10 for people who are on a budget, that's fine. But when you make the whole personality of a cigar the price, that's not a real reviewer. Oh, Rick, why do you say that? Why would you say that price point doesn't make a cigar a good rating? What happens tomorrow? That factory burns down and all their crops and whatever they have left is what's left. What happened if they prepared a production run for a cigar for maybe 4 to 5, potentially 10 years? But then something devastating happened, a hurricane, a tornado, a typhoon, tsunami, natural disasters, and their crop is now wasted and gone. But they already put in the millions and millions and millions into that production line, into the boxes, into the contracts, all that kind of stuff. They had to make the money back. So that $4, $10, $7 cigar that you truly loved, for a brief time, for the rest of the limited time it has to be on production, they might have to mark it up to $20, $25 to try to get their money back. Obviously you have insurances, whatever, but if you made a cigar your number one pick because of the price, and that happens, are you gonna revoke that spot? As you guys can see, I'm getting close to the band. So I'm actually going to remove the bands off of this and actually see something that's kind of interesting. This cigar has been dry boxed ever since I got it, because immediately after I opened from the package, if you go watch that video of me opening $1,000, you know, the video called opening $1,000 worth of cigars, when I had the cigar and I squeezed it on the video, it was really moist. That's what she said. You can see that there's still more oil or hydration in it. So was completely dry before smoking it. But now you can even like look at the wrapper. It's starting to get this little sheen. Like it's still very oily. Even removing the band, the wrapper didn't crack. Nothing happened to the wrapper. I'm trying to find, like, I'm looking for negative aspects, and there's nothing wrong with the cigar. So far, I'm gonna give the construction a 10 out of 10. I'm not done with the cigar yet, so that number can change. I'm just trying to find something. Okay. So I'm definitely halfway into the cigar. One thing I could say is that the transition from the first to second, when it comes to the thirds, was really good. You had intensity with the flavors that I mentioned before, the espresso, the chocolate, all that kind of sorts. Now that I'm like at the very midpoint of the cigar, the flavors kind of got a little boring. Where yes, you get the same thing, but I feel like it kind of diluted when it comes to the flavor notes. So it slightly got boring, but I should be approaching the last third very soon. So see you guys when I get to the last third. Also, one tip, and I'm doing this purposely so you guys can see. You see the cigar? I'm gonna try to ash it. The top ash is not moving. You see how that one side is lower than the other side? I call that a pencil. Typically, a little pencil tip tends to form if you smoke too fast. And what you do to solve that, literally just stop smoking. Have the cigar rest for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Let the embers try to burn whatever tobacco that's left not ashed yet. Just let it sit for a bit. Once it sits, ash it. Once you see it's back to being even, or at least somewhat even, go back to smoking the cigar. This is what I mean. I gave my cigar time to chill, and now look at that. A little pencil hill is way fatter than before. I'm on the last start of the cigar. I thought there could be like a final change for flavor. It really didn't. It is still a good flavor. It kind of stopped being not boring towards the end. More flavors came out towards the end. Right now I'm getting a little bit more of espresso, hints of chocolate, way more spice. That breadiness, doughiness still reside. That butteriness I got from the beginning, very faint in the background. I still get cedar, still get a little bit of leather, a little bit of an earthy undertone. I think that's gonna actually conclude my review aspect. The cigar was a good experience, but towards the end it kind of dulled down, especially with that chocolate note that really excited me. And now I'm getting a little bit more of what you get on standard cigars, with a little bit more of a burst of flavor. Because the typical backgrounds you get of cigars is obviously tobacco, hay, barn, earth, leather, wood. But right now, towards the very end, I'm getting a lot of the generic taste you get from cigars, and very hints of the thing that made it very special in the very initial couple puffs, or that first third, to transitioning to the second third. So let me go bust out my scores. Construction, 10 out of 10. Because even with it being extremely hydrated when I first got it, to now being extremely dry, you have the residuals of it still being spongy. When it comes to the actual head of the cigar, you can still hear little cracks to it. Fortunately, I don't have a very sensitive mic for you to hear the little cracking effects. I actually could hear myself. For the flavor notes, I'm gonna give it a strong 7, because that initial was amazing, but then it kind of dulled out. Some cigars give you a ride, or usually towards the last third, they give you that most intensity with a lot of pepper or flavor notes and stuff like that. This is the opposite. It gave you the intensity in the beginning while it kind of relaxed towards the end, which people might like that. To me, that's fine by me. That taste didn't skyrocket, or it didn't, it wasn't a rising slope and then it gradually went back up. This was more slight up to plateauing to kind of declining, but not to declining where it's like crashing and burning. It's just skyrocket, plateau to a small incline, which is fine. So taste wise, I'm giving it a 7. Experience, I'm gonna give it a 7.5, because the background of it, the fact that it's a father and son collaboration, 85 years for a factory being established, and the fact that a lot of companies use it. So this is a great milestone, 85 years. For me to experience this very limited cigar, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I'm gonna leave it at that. So 7, 7.5, and a 10. Combine that all together, I'll give the cigar a rating of an 8.25. May not be the correct adding in divisible by 3, but it's a very solid cigar. Gave me a good experience. It gave me amazing taste notes in the beginning, all right to mediocre taste notes towards the end, but the construction held up perfectly the whole entire time. I purposely even smoked faster to see if it would actually, the whole pencil tip effect, and it did. And I gave it time to relax, and it corrected itself immediately. Now there is no canoeing, there's no pencil tip. It's basically even all the way through. La Galera, you get an 8.25 from me, meaning this cigar is a certified ash. On that note, guys, happy new year, and hope you guys are ready for what's in store for this new year. As always, I love your faces, and I'm out. Peace.